Hi, Shilpa. We'll be starting in another 4 minutes. The session is scheduled at 4:15 p.m. IST. Farha, there is another 4 more minutes for the session to begin. I can see a child watching. Please, everyone note that this session is not for children. It is for parents. It's time for us to begin. Hello, everyone. Very good evening to you all, and welcome to today's session. Are you all done with the evening tea?
Yeah.
Yes? Let me see in the chat box. Are you done with the evening tea? Hi, Nazan. Ready for the session? Okay. Hi, Jiha. Atpa, Mumtaz. Okay, it's still lunchtime with UAE, I see. Okay. I'll share my screen. Is it visible? Yes, okay. Okay, so be active all throughout the session. At my lunch, okay, Hasanat, very happy. Okay, so be active all throughout the session because the whole energy of the whole session depends on your reaction. Sorry? Is everything okay?
Yeah, Maria.
Yes, okay. And remember, this session is not for children. Your children are not going to get benefited if they watch this. This session is particularly for parents on handling the screen time related issues of your children. So please see that only you parents are watching this and use a headset because this session is not for children and they shouldn't be hearing this. I'll give you a minute or two. Those who are watching it without the headset, please run, get a headset and then watch it. Hi, Roxana. Okay, so we'll go ahead. We'll just start with a good old telephone. The basic meaning of a telephone is that it is a system for transmitting voice over a long distance by converting voice signals into sound signals into electric signals. Now, when mobile phones, see, there's a disturbance. Please see that you all are muted. Okay. Okay. Okay, so when mobile phones came into picture also, we took it mainly for calling people, right? And the facilities like SMS was exciting at that time. But now, what all do we do with our phones? We're talking, of course, but that will be the least thing that we use. What all do you do with your phone? Let me see in the chat box. Here, especially since range is also low, I rarely take my phone for calls. Yes, we click photos, WhatsApp, social media. What else? Pictures, YouTube, Google, Insta, online ordering, yes. Browsing, attending live, watching videos, yes, what not. We get a fitness coach on phone. We do bank transfers. Everything is dependent on phone and we still call this a phone, right? We watch reels, yes. Okay, so in addition to these, it has made many things virtual. It replaced exactly, Hamnat, it replaced everything, even our travel, meeting neighbors, family time, friends. And needless to mention that even the smiles that we have, smiles and laughs, those two have turned virtual with the smileys and emoticons, isn't it? Now, we can't deny that it is deteriorating relationships as well. So it's a fact that we cannot live without our mobile phones. Everything is dependent on that. And we've gathered here to get help on managing our children's screen time. But before that, before going into our children's kids cases and all, let us analyze our own attachment to the phone. Are you ready? I'll give you a few questions. 5 questions are there so that you can reflect and think and answer. Are you ready? Shall I give the first question? Please see that your mic is muted. Please, everyone. Okay, ready. Here goes the first question. How often do you find that you stay online longer than you intended? You plan it for 10 minutes, but then after some time you realize that, oh, it has been 1 whole hour. Okay, so you needn't answer it in the chat box. You can just note it on your own. Okay, you can mention very often, sometimes, or not at all. Sometimes, very often, often. Okay, very often. Yes. Now the second question. How often do you neglect house chores or your work to spend more time online? You'll have an important work, but you set that aside and be online. That's the second question. Not really, very often, sometimes, at times. Yes. Now moving on to the third. How often do others in your life complain to you about the amount of time you are spending online? You may not seem it as a problem, but others around you are complaining. Very often. Not at all. Sometimes. Okay, very often. Not at all. Yes. Fourth question. How often do you check your email or social network site before something else that you needed to do? You wake up in the morning and the first thing that you do is this before doing anything else. Amira, please. Not at all. Usually do after breakfast, okay? Sometime. Remember how many times you are mentioning sometimes, how many very often, etc. Okay. And here's the last question. How often does your productivity suffer because of the internet? Times, very often. Very often. Yes. So if you have more number of very often in your answers, perhaps we need to wake and look at the phone to switch off alarm. Okay. Nice. So if you have more very often in your answer, then it means that there is some sort of a problem in our usage itself. But if it's less, then you are able to manage it. Now, our generation, whoever has gathered here, we know that we do know a time when there was no phones, no mobile phones as such, when gadget usage was not this much. We know what that age looked like. But the present children, they are born into a world of gadgets and they don't know a world, they don't know how a world will look like without these gadgets. So let's take a poll now. We have all joined here because we feel something is not right with our child's screen time usage. There is some concern. So what is worrying you about your child's screen time usage? You'll see, Shruti, can we have the poll? We'll see a question on the screen and the options also. Yeah, here it is. What is worrying you about your child's screen usage? Is it the time that he is spending online? Is it the content that they are consuming? Is it both the content and the time or something else? Okay, there are 40 people answered, 46, 50, 60 people answered. We'll have it for a few more seconds. Please hit whichever button. Okay, is that 75 people have answered this. Anyone else wants to answer? Yes, it's increasing. Should we just have it for a few more seconds and we can end the poll?
Okay.
Okay. Shall we end the poll?
Yeah. Shall I end it?
Yeah. So there are 118 people and 83 of you answered and share the result of the search. So 51% of us feel that both the time and the content are an issue. 36% feels the time alone is the issue. 7% feels the content alone is the issue, and 6% feels that it is some other issue that is brought up here. Okay, that was a good analysis. Sharing. So getting acquainted with technology, we know it is very important these days. And we cannot keep them completely away from screens. We cannot be completely away, and same is the case with our children also. They need to be technologically updated because we need to prepare them for the future. At the same time, they need to know a balance of it. Mobile phones, laptops, TV, whatever it is, they need to know a balance of how to use it, so that it secures their family, it secures their relationships, their physical health, their emotional health, and at the same time they can move forward and ease their life with technology. So we are here to help them with technology, but yet trying to bring them into a habit of using it healthily. Now, even though we realize all these, most of us, we know that screen time shouldn't be more, our children shouldn't be attached to screens too much. But then if you look more deep into how we are raising our children, we see that we ourselves, we parents, we bring unwanted interaction between our children and the gadgets. Purposefully, we do that, but we may not be realizing that. So let's check how. We need to realize these mistakes, because only if you realize these mistakes and stop this, we can, get our children out of this gadget addiction or too much attachment to gadget. So the first thing, we give screens to our children as a reward. This has become very common now. It is our biggest tool. If they don't do their homework, okay. If they do their homework, okay, you will have mobile time. If they do a good deed, okay, game time, video time. This has become a reward for us, right? What do you think? Isn't it true? Yes, very true. Yes. So, but this is dangerous because due to many reasons, and one is that kids will take it as a norm that whenever they do a good deed, okay, I'm supposed to get this. That is one thing. And the second thing is that their intention of doing even a good deed or doing whatever homework, studies, everything, their intention will become that, okay, I'm doing this for the sake of getting screens. And also, when we deny screens, for example, okay, you haven't done your homework, so there is no video time now. You misbehaved today for the function, so I'm going to cancel your game time for a week. When we do this, what's happening? When we deny screens like this, they get more and more attached to screens when you deny. Can you imagine that? Just imagine something that is being denied to us. Okay, we did something and I'm not able to use something. What we feel inside is we get more and more attached to that thing that we are unable to reach. So make sure that for them, this screen has nothing to do with their performance test or with their behavior excellence or anything like that. Okay. And also we give them for the second mistake that we make is, this is something that is very commonly seen with younger children. Mostly moms and grandmas also use screens nowadays for feeding the children, because that is when they don't deny any food. They'll have everything without even knowing. That also has several disadvantages. I'm not going into the depth of all that. We do have separate session on helping your child get into healthy habits of eating. You can get in touch with Shruti if you are interested in that. And another mistake that we parents make is that we contradict ourselves when it comes to screens. We say no to screens when they ask something, but when we are busy, we give them screens also. Nowadays, what I notice is even in Lulu Mall or hypermarkets, children are there in their trolley, but they'll be using screens. So we try to engage them with screens whenever we are busy or whenever we want them to be well behaved. So in fact, kids are learning to show tantrums when the parent is busy with their work rather than learning to adjust and support the parent. But if trained, kids will definitely work or play independently when we are busy. They don't need a full-time entertainment, entertaining parent. But we need to have the courage to step up and see that we stick on to our rules and regulations, that we stick on to it all the time. The next thing is learning. Learning is an area that we give screens to our children without any guilt consciousness. But even there, we see that overexposure to videos affects their brain adversely. Also, the sometimes immediate result that you by now, many of you might have noticed it, that children tend to lose their patience or the real interest in doing things. For example, the one who is interested in watching sports, say, but when it is real time game, he's not interested to play it. Or the one who is interested in watching the sky through videos. If you give him a telescope and ask him to observe, he's not patient to watch what is happening. Because through the videos, they get everything in the fast mode. Things are happening, experiments are happening, everything within a second or two, you get the result. That's what's happening. So the natural patience that happens with us adults as well as with the children out of curiosity, that is cut by the overusage of videos, including educational ones. And also another major issue that we give gadget for studies, but we attach privacy also to it. That is a very dangerous thing. So that should also be addressed. Next, we give it for entertainment. What is the criteria we imply on when we let our kids watch movies, play video games, and listen to music? Is there any criteria? We have left everything open to them, cartoons. And relying on the viewer age certification for videos for movies is also not safe. And games, regarding games, there's an interesting experiment that happened with children of 12-year-old, around 12-year-old. A few children were gathered and they were allowed to watch videos with violence in it. And after watching that, there was a psychologist who interviewed them. And during the interview process, he accidentally knocked. It was not accident, that was something that was pre-planned, but the kids felt that he accidentally knocked a jar of pencils down on the floor. So the boys who watched this violent video, they did not, or they refused to, stand up and pick up and give it to the psychologist. While the group which didn't watch that, those children were prompted helping them out with picking the pencils. So this clearly shows even how even a few hours of exposure to videos with violence can affect a children's empathy. And the American Academy of Pediatrics has concluded that games in which killing others is a central theme that is not appropriate for children. So when we set screens as the primary source of entertainment without proper awareness of what content the kids are consuming, it is a danger. Now, having said all these, if you feel like, okay, if the gadgets are completely removed, everything is going to be solved, that is not the case. We cannot avoid gadgets. That is on the first place. And secondly, if you think, if you look back, we'll know that every now and then we in the sense, we parents have something to blame on. Like in olden days, it was books that spoiled my child, or those books that spoiled my child, or it is his friends who spoiled him. So we have everything of every now and then we have something to blame on, and now it is the gadgets that we are blaming. Teenage kids who spend over 5 hours a day online tend to have more depressive or suicidal thoughts. Just imagine this 5 hours online a day, whether the child is small or a teenager. What is happening? There is a larger problem. This being 5 hours online, that is just a symptom. And it doesn't happen in a day also. If you're not equipped to manage that, aggression, mental illness, lesser concentration in studies, sleep issues, obesity, depression, anxiety, deteriorated social behavior, that is even reported in very small children. They don't know to interact with people. They don't know to interact with people in the real world, personally. So all these are the problems that are awaiting us. And majority of us will be halfway through. So we need to tackle it. We need to be equipped to handle these. And you may have heard before, like, what is the solution to screen time? Mostly it is suggested that bring in more of activities, include them in physical activities, take them outside. All that is needed. But we parents know how difficult it is to implement all those on a daily basis. That is, we face a difficulty because we are not yet, exploring the real reason why our children are attached to screens. We need to know the real reason behind that. And if we know the real reason and try to tackle that, then this, I'm bringing in activities and all will be added advantage. So now, in order to bring a permanent solution to this screen time issue, we are going to what you call a self-determination theory, which sets the basis of why our children and as adults are getting attached to screens. Okay. So they watch, I can see in this chart, they watch reality shows or cartoons. They don't want to watch reality. Setting boundaries help at times. Yes. Okay. So self-determination theory will help us understand why our children are getting attached to screens, and we can, uproot the real cause from our lives. It is psychologists Edward Deci and Richard Ryan who first introduced this in 1985. And according to this theory, people need 3 things in order to achieve psychological nutrients. We have heard about physical, nutrients that give us physical strength, right? Similarly, there are 3 psychological nutrients which are very necessary for us humans. Sorry. And these 3 things are what gadgets are providing or online media is providing in abundance, because of which we humans get attached to it, adults and children. We get hooked to it because online media is providing these 3 psychological nutrients. Let's check what they are. The first one is autonomy, power or freedom. People need to feel in control of their own life. Don't you like freedom? Let me know in the chat box. Don't you like freedom for yourself? Is there anyone who doesn't love freedom? Freedom, yes. Yes, for sure. Yes. Yeah. Freedom of control or power, power to choose what we want and what not. That is autonomy. Yes. To know a little more on that, just consider this man. Okay. Please mute. Someone's mic is on. It would be good if you can mute. Okay, so imagine a man who is in a good position in work, but the issue that he's facing is he lacks power, even though his position has power. Okay, like the person above him, he is not giving him much freedom. Everything he has to obey what his boss is saying. So he's feeling very, restricted without any freedom in office. And no value to his, ideas. No one is asking him anything. So, he's feeling that restricted autonomy in his office. And this person, when he gets home, he exhibits power on his wife, his kids, to prove to himself that he's using power. He has power. That's something that comes naturally from him. There's a great chance that he also turns to games where he can control his decisions, to social media groups where he can exhibit his power by raising his opinion, by countering the viewpoints of others. No one is going to restrict him there. These are the only areas where, to his family members, wife, children, social media, games, these are the only areas where he can exhibit power. Can you relate to this? Have you seen such people? You may be going through one yourself or in a near family member or with, outside. Have you seen? Yes. Thus. Yes, Hasanat. Okay. So kids are also the same. Some mothers have some sort of it. Yes. Yes. I just took an example as a man, okay? Just consider yourself in that position, whether you are a man or a woman. Okay, so kids are also the same. Kids need autonomy. That is power of choosing, freedom to control their own choices. But where do they get to taste autonomy? When it is we parents who are deciding everything for them. What food to eat, what dress to wear, when to study, what to do, what not to do, whom to make friends with. I think there's a lot of restriction than freedom that we are giving in their life. And what do they get online? They can decide which video to watch, what profile picture to choose, which filter to put, what comment to make, which game, power to decide on what to do during the games. There is a lot of decision making and they have control over their decisions. There's a lot of autonomy or freedom of choice offered by the gadget to your child, which is making your child cling on to it. We're doing a lot of controlling over them in school, at home, and there's no surprise that they want to turn to an environment where they get a lot of freedom. When given autonomy to a teenager, what happens when people go from school to a college? They get a lot of freedom suddenly, right? And that is something that parents are very concerned about. So what do parents these days expect? They want the colleges to be like schools, strict. Why? Because they fear giving autonomy to their child. And also, autonomy is not something that has to be given completely to them in one day. Then they won't know how to balance it. So we have to give it step by step with the right balance. And this also doesn't mean that you have to leave everything to their wish and sit idle. What will happen then? What will happen if you give full authority to your child, full autonomy? They can choose anything, they can be there, whatever they want, they can do whatever they want. What happens? Is that good? Will they know to make the right decision? Out of control. Yes. Yes, they'll sit on your head, right? Okay. So they don't know what to choose and what not to choose. So balancing is a must. But we need to give them autonomy and train them to use it. And train them what is good, what is not good. But giving autonomy is a must. Is this true for all of us? We follow decisions created by us, not the ones that we are forced on by others. Isn't it true? No, it's not true. Yeah, we can give choice. Yes. Yes. Aisha, Susna. So if we try to cut gadgets completely or take away internet completely, they have other ways to use it. If the child is older, they can definitely go to their friend and use neighbor from your phone without you knowing. It's not going to stop them. But how will you give the freedom or power and see that they don't misuse it? That's where we need to build a good rapport with our child, guide them to the good. We can give them the power to make decisions and also train them to take the right decisions. I have faced that a lot. Other outlets. Other outlets, I didn't get you, Noora. It's very hard in joint family. Yes. See, the things that you hear now, these are to be implemented by all of us. But the way we implement will vary from person to person, depending on our situation, depending on our mental health, the family that we are in. It depends on a lot of factors. And we'll help you out in that also. I'll come to that. Yes, give them the freedom with set boundaries. That's what we need to come to. So we offer further help on how to put this into practice for each family. It's just like I don't know. This person said, it would be good if you can post a name in the chat box. So since everyone is unique and every family is unique, we do give personal support as well. We'll discuss that towards the end. So first thing is autonomy. That is the first psychological nutrient that what we want and also that our children need. Is it clear? We need to give them balanced freedom. We need to give them autonomy. At the same time, we need to know how to balance. Yes. Mumtaz, I would like to know from everyone. Is the first point clear? First psychological nutrient? Yes. Now, before going into the next, thank you, Taslima. Thank you, Nasima. Okay, Ali, we'll come to it towards the end. Okay. So before going into the next, let me introduce a little about Kring to you. So Kring is a venture for dads and moms by dads and moms. And I hope majority of you know me. I am Mariam, one among the co-founders of Kring. The other co-founder is Shruti, and we are both engineers. And after engineering, what I did is I actually worked in the education field and was as a teacher and also involved in the curriculum formation. And I also have a diploma in child psychology and is undergoing training in the Robert Karkoff model of counseling. And when Shruti and me, when we decided to start, Kring, the parent space or a parent support system. Just a second, what happened? Hamnat, are you able to hear me?
Video is streaming. Yeah, video is streaming. No issues here.
Yes. Hamnat, I guess it is something from your end. Okay. So when we started and started this, building a parent support system, it was just our dream, mine and Shruti's dream. But now it's taken up by many others, including all the team members who contribute at various areas, and including psychologists, pediatrician, relationship therapist, gynecologist, LD expert, that is the one who is handling learning challenges in children, and lots more. And we are supported by Startup India and Kerala government through Kerala Startup Mission. So all of us together are here empowering parents to raise a values-centric generation. And also we are here to help you enjoy parenthood without being confused or stressed out. And also we provide personal mentorship to each family. We help you handle children's wellness as a whole, the physical health, emotional health, and individual health. So on the book, we'll learn more about Kring also. And Shruti, can you post our Instagram link and Facebook link?
Yeah, Maria, I'll post it.
Okay. So if you're not following our Insta Facebook, please do that so that you are also updated about the events that we are having and the programs that we are conducting so that you can choose whichever is up to you. Now we'll move on to the second psychological nutrient. Second psychological nutrient is competence. That is the ability to succeed or do something efficiently, successfully. We all need to gain certain skills, gain mastery of certain skills. When we feel that we have skills to succeed, we take actions. Isn't that feeling good? Like when you feel like, yes, I am good at something. That gives a nice feeling, no? Okay, I can successfully do this. That gives us a nice feeling. Now imagine a child who is playing an online game. There is immense motivation there. They are gaining badges, stars, succeeding in winning over the other person, succeeding in finding out gold, going to the next level. These games are all designed to get immense satisfaction of success. But what about the normal life that they are facing? What about the daily activities? Who is there to motivate them? What satisfaction of success are they getting when they are again and again reminded about their negatives? Your handwriting is not good, you're not writing properly, you are lazy, your work is not complete, you're not keeping the place clean, room is not clean, poor marks in exam, not behaving properly. The list is, I need to tell you, the list goes on. So how will they not get addicted to games when they are getting immense success from games? In our life also, the area that we get motivation on, we do more and more of that. Whether it be an encouragement for a dish that you made the previous day. And If someone praises you for the dish, it is not that we keep on doing that dish alone. No, we'll dive more into cooking. We'll see what all we can explore there, right? Or whether it be a post that you posted in social media, a comment you made, and everyone appreciated. You'll be hooked there. You'll be intrinsically motivated to do more and more of that. So when our children are not getting this competence or success feeling from real life, there is this gadgets which is giving it lots and lots to us. So it's not that, since I mentioned about handwriting, writing and all, I just wanted to mention this also. It's not that we shouldn't expect their handwriting to improve or their our kids should turn responsible. Everything should be there. But at the same time, we need to master how to give them that success feeling of what they are now. What are the positives that they are having now? And also we need to know how to instill that growth mindset in them to achieve more or to improve better in everything. So this also we are providing further help for parents. So the second thing is this competence. The first thing was, what was the first thing? Yes, Pooja, it is feeling of success, what they need, competence. Yes, the first was autonomy and the second was competence. Now we are moving on to the third. Okay, Shafila, Niha, Hamnat, Umarli. Okay. Now the third is connection or relatedness. That is, people need to experience a sense of belonging or attachment to other people. We all need it. So it is a feeling that we are important to others and others are important to us. The connection feeling. Kids spending time with their peers and connection with parents come into the picture here. So first, let's talk about spending time with peers. This is an essential part of growing up. It develops many social skills with them. When we say they need to play with peers, parents think like if the child is going to school, that is normally happening. But if you think the previous generation children, they were allowed to play openly in park, in grounds, and they formed more of social connection or bond with the children around. But today we restrict them because of many factors, many genuine factors, like there can be safety issues, traffic, bullies. Several reasons are there. Those are genuine reasons, but that also has a negative effect. For us, just imagine a connection with our peers actually makes us feel very good. No, even if we are very completely down, if our friend just rings up and asks a few things and just cheers us up, we feel very relieved. But our children are missing this connection with their peer in this digital world. Real friends, real connections. And if you think, see, if a child is bullied at school, he doesn't have another friend to share it, but he gets online and gets comfort from someone online whom he doesn't know. That is what is happening now. And they get connection from the gaming friends inside. Who's someone's mic is on? So the point is, they need connection with their peer. Okay, I was muted by the host. So the point is, they need connection with peers in their offline world. So as much as we protect them, at the same time, we need to consciously make efforts and opportunities for them to interact with their friends. And the second type of connection what the children need is connection with parents. The connection that we are talking about is a situation where they value us. They value us parents. They have high esteem of us parents. They believe that we will understand them completely in every situation. And they obey us, not out of fear, but out of love for us. In such situations, they'll also forgive us when we make mistakes. Don't we make mistakes? Don't we shout at them? Don't we spank them? we treat them badly. Those are all not good. The mistakes, even if we are making mistakes, those are mistakes. But when we have a good bond with them, and even slightly, but sometimes, you have to raise your voice once in a while, your children will forgive you because they'll have a good bond with you. And even in their teenage, if you want to have an open door into their life, what you need to set is a good bond with them before that. And setting a good bond with them includes the way you talk to them, the way you look at them, the tone of the voice, how you speak to them. It depends on everything, all your interaction with your child. Now, when this bond is established with the child, what another advantage that we get is they obey us not out of fear, but out of love, right? So even some things that they cannot digest logically, when we say, but still they'll stick on to it. That's another advantage that we get when the bond, when we establish a strong bond with our children. So these were the three things that we discussed. Our human psyche needs three things: autonomy, competence, and connection or attachment with other people. Just like when the body is starved, we get hunger and we get irritated and all sort of things pops up. Then when our psyche is undernourished, it produces anxiety, restlessness, and other symptoms that something is missing. We won't feel right. And without sufficient amount of power, success, and connection, people turn to gadgets to get these things because it is provided by the gadgets in abundance. To just, get distracted from all these things happening around and be cool. So psychologist Ryan, who proposed this, he believes that if kids are not given enough of these three psychological nutrients, then if they are not given these three in their offline life, then they turn online to substitute for this. So the more you're not getting these, the more you turn online. It is same with adults as well as with children. I guess these 3 points are clear to you. This is in fact a small portion, but a very effective portion in dealing with your child's screen time. And there are other things as well. If you have any doubts, you can post in the chat box and we'll take it towards the end. Okay. So the psychological nutrients that we said, these are the internal triggers. When these things are lacking, internally we feel like, using the gadget, going on to the screens. And there are a few external factors as well. And that can be classified into the time that they spend online as well as the content that they are consuming. Time, we do guide parents on what all timings should be preferred for each age group of each age group according to your child. And also, even if the time is less, the time your child is spending online is less, if the content is not right, then it is a greater danger. So we do train parents on providing safe and good content to your children as well. So along with these things, the value that you pass to the child, that holds a that is very, very important. Online safety, staying away from pornography these days. There are a lot of children who are getting addicted to these at a younger age nowadays, which is very terrifying. And we need to be equipped to handle these as well. So as I told, Think do offer immense help in supporting parents on these areas and in implementing the things that we discussed today, and also in uprooting the screen time issue from completely. I'll show you how Think is guiding parents, what all areas that we are handling. How we support parents is by individually attending each one of them, each parent. Someone's mic is on. Sorry. So we support each parent individually to direct you to establish balanced autonomy, competence, and connection. It helps you also we help you with how much time that your child needs to stick on to mobile, like maximum time, and what content have to be provided. And also we help you make your children active members of the family. Now in most families, kids are like guests in the family. They are in screens and they get water, they get food, everything on time, their things are happening, and they are like guests. So we help you make your children active participant of the family, and we'll also guide you on what all resources you can provide to them for learning safely, learning online safe. And most importantly, how you need to pass your values to them, including sex education. That is not something that you need to start doing when your child reaches teenage. Sex education is in fact a million short age appropriate conversations that you need to do right when your child is small. And all this is included in Kring's paid membership package. And a 3 months subscription package costs rupees 2,000, which will also deal with these issues. I mean, handling these screen time issues. And we have outstanding feedbacks from our parents who are in our subscription plan and who are experiencing direct support from us. We also have an annual membership plan, which we actually, that is something that we highly recommend, where we address a lot of hurdles that parents face. Because as we mentioned in the beginning, like someone noted in the chat box, every family is different. For a joint family, things will be different. For a working parent, things will be different. And there'll be, it may be because of different hurdles that you face, like you face the issues that you're facing with your children. Some may be unable to manage work and family together. Some will have anger issues. For some, it can be your child's, dishonesty that is mattering, or stealing in children, not obeying, stress because of the stress that your child is giving. For some, your routines have to be set. Or some of you will be experiencing fight. Your children will be fighting with their siblings, and that is giving you stress. There can be hyperactivity. So everything, the issues that each one of us faces is entirely different, and there'll be multiple issues that we are facing. So what we do is, through the assessments, we identify your right struggles and we prioritize it and help you tackle it one by one. So just like we checked our screen time assessment in the beginning, we do have assessment, detailed assessment on a lot of areas. And that is the first step that we do as a parent joins Kring. We do the assessment and see which all areas you need help on and prioritize the areas. And also set a sequence, like what we'll be addressing first, what will be going next and all. And then a personal mentor will be allotted to you, will be a psychologist who will be delivering the Kring way of parenting to you. And she'll guide you on the way of, the right way of parenting. And also there'll be continuous support from the mentor. And with the help of micro classes and all, we'll help you achieve the goals that you want to achieve in your life, with your children, with your family. And also we have access to other expert team members like pediatrician, gynecologist, and relationship therapist and all. So we'll help you achieve what you want exactly. And for all these services, what we are providing, the actual cost is this, what you see on the screen, with continuous mentor support, with every month's call with the mentor. There'll be personal call like this with the mentor that you'll be given access to every month, so that the mentor directly hears your issues and provides you the Kring way of parenting steps to solve the issue. So the value that we are providing is altogether about 25,000 rupees, but the amount that we are charging at the moment is 4,200 for all the services that we provide. And Shruti, can you post if any one of you is interested in taking up the subscription? Shruti will post the link. Yes, you can pay from this link that you see, or there's UPI payment as well. So Shruti will be posting that also. If any one of you is interested in joining, please go ahead and subscribe to the annual plan. That is 12 months access will be there for 350 rupees per month. That is 4,200 rupees annually. And also another thing that, most of the kids with screen time issues also have this attention issues and also learning challenges as well.
Okay.
there'll be learning challenges and also attention issues, and hyperactivity can also be there. So anyone who is making the payment now, who is taking the annual membership, will be giving the assessment for ADHD or LD. If you are interested in, we'll be giving that free of cost. So we learned about the 3 psychological nutrients, and we are learning this from the kids' perspective. But as I told, the same is applicable to us also. Take care of these 3 psychological nutrients in your life to be more productive, rather than being linked to the gadgets. In fact, before when I took this session, I remember parents mentioning that we came here for children, but realized that this is something that, that I am lacking in my life, like they are lacking in their life. So that's why I wanted to mention that also. Keep yourself also in that place and see how, which all you are lacking, and try to achieve this. Okay, so let's provide a safe virtual world to our children as well. If you have any doubts, you can post in the chat box. Thank you all for joining. Is there any doubt? What can be done when you are not in your familiar environment? Example, have other kids watching in your family. Your child tends to lean towards that. Okay. See, is it happening once in a while, or is it like a joint family where you are completely, all the time this is happening? If it is happening once in a while, what we can do is, every time we needed, for vacation time and all. Okay. See, every time we needn't, pull our child away from that. So there are times when we have to keep our mouth shut, and there are times when we need to interfere also. So Noora, you can discuss with your mentor and discuss the situations and see which all situations you can, you need to interfere, and which all situations you need it. And remember, every time it is not, our instruction that makes a difference. In some situations, especially when it is concerning to others around, our silence also speaks a lot. So maintain silence where needed, and see when to step in. Even if we give all these 3, how do we control the time for a 2.5-year-old? Because he doesn't understand the concept of time. Timer also doesn't help. He shouts when the timer goes off, and distraction doesn't help either. Okay, Pooja, I'll have to know a little bit more on this, like what he is using, how he is using, how he got attached to screens, how was this gadget, how he got attached to gadgets exactly, so that we can find out the root cause and try to eliminate that. What can be done when my mom on her phone every day? What? I'm sorry. See, I'm a person who makes a lot of typos, but I can't read typos. And time. Can you please, rewrite the question again? Okay, Noora. Mostly children get, get to use their phones through their grandparents and all, right? Is that what you meant there? So just take the reply that I gave to Noora. There are times when we can interfere and we need to interfere. There are times when we need to be silent. So if we can work together closely, we can discuss the situations and see how you can, take that forward. Like after knowing the character of each family member, how to deal with them, we can discuss that further. Shruti, you can post your number also in the chat box in case anyone wants to contact. And also, those who are there in the WhatsApp group, Kring's WhatsApp group, you stay there so that you get further updates of the programs and all the details as well. Yes, Shruti has posted her number. Shall we find her?
Mariam, that question
They
was
have to respect.
posted again
Okay.
by what can be done when my mother is always on the phone?
Seeing her, they want all the time. Yeah, that's what I replied to. I don't know your name. It would be good if you can post your name. Also, see, there are situations when we need to interfere and how we need to interfere. So it will be good if we can discuss it personally. See, consultations are there. Once you take the membership, consultations are there, and the mentor will in detail hear your situation and suggest options and solutions that you can implement. They have to respect and obey the rules what mom is implied. How do we disengage a child who is already addicted to screens? Okay, Aisha, depending on the screen addiction, see, to a certain level, these are the things that we can do. And Aisha can take an assessment with Shruti. We have assessment of screen time to know how your child, how far your child is addicted. And depending on the intensity, we can suggest the steps. Shruti, you can post the form link also here in case anyone wants to take the assessment for their children.
Yeah, I'll share it.
Or Aisha can contact Shruti for the screen time assessment. Slide. Okay, let me see. There's a fine line between watching content that is learning oriented and viewing non-beneficial content. Exactly. Ilham. Okay, Ilham. Kindly respond to my question. Pooja, haven't I responded to yours? I'm so sorry. We see we started only for a few minutes of TV, and then in-laws started showing videos on YouTube. Now he wants it every time he sees the phone. See, if you're in a joint family, that's what I mentioned. Joint family situations are different. Nuclear family situations are different. And wherever another family member is involved, it is always best to describe, personally get in touch with us, take the membership if you can, and we'll directly discuss about the character of each person and see how to tackle it, personally. And the main reason why we are providing individual support to families is because of this. Because we cannot mention a one size fits all, solution to all the parents, because all of us are different, our families are different. Okay, Shruti has posted the link. If anyone is interested in knowing how far your child is attached to screens, you can just answer the questions there. Older people do it, we can't tell them, but thanks to Think, my kids are getting to know their limits. We have gradually progressed. We're happy to know that, Nabila. Sometimes we tend to get tricked thinking the kids are watching good stuff. That's what I meant. We also get carried away with convenience. Yes, that is one of the issues that we all face when we are busy. We just tend to neglect things, but that can be dangerous. And with the class was beneficial and got awareness about the real reason for screen. Thank you, Jabiba. So you can repost the subscription link as well. And also social media links. Do follow us in Facebook, Insta and all. So would like to join and be a part of this parent support system, go ahead and take the subscription. Thank you all for joining. Do post in the group also how the session went. Thank you. Thank you for joining, Ilham, Taslima, Nasima. Thanks a lot for listening.